I do want to say just a word of appreciation as an American for what Keith did in Minnesota. He did what we want all prosecutors to do, which is to do an independent assessment of the evidence and then decide if charges are appropriate, and if so, what charges, and then prosecute the case. And Keith, as we would all expect, did each of those decisions uh, above reproach, completely professionally, and secured an appropriate conviction. And so, Keith, thank you.
Thank you.
The murder of George Floyd shook this entire nation, and it obviously Mr. Floyd was not the only man who has died unjustly at the hand of the state. And what happened, though, is it was really a spark for this entire nation to really reckon with our history with race. And obviously, being from North Carolina, we have a long and problematic, sordid history of race issues. And what the governor asked me, and I was honored to co-chair along with Justice Anita Earls of our North Carolina Supreme Court, a task force for racial equity and criminal justice. And it was a broad-based task force. We had justice-involved individuals, public defenders, criminal justice reform advocates, community leaders, mayors, policymakers, and we had sheriffs and chiefs of police and line officers, prosecutors. We had the full array of perspectives represented on our task force, and we met untold number of hours from July through December, basically weekly. And we came up with a report that I'm very proud of, 125 recommendations. But the governor was very clear, this was not about a report that you stick up on a bookshelf. It was always about identifying recommendations and then implementing them. And that's what we've been doing this year. We just had a bill signing at the governor's mansion about 2 or 3 weeks ago of a comprehensive criminal justice reform piece of legislation that impacts the way officers are recruited, impacts how they are trained, and has a variety of new accountability measures to make sure that when they don't do things the right way, they either get corrected, or if they're not appropriate to be in that line of work, they find some other job. And we feel very positive about what we are getting done here. Our view is very holistic. It's not just about that moment where the law enforcement officer interacts with the citizen, like what we saw with Mr. Floyd. Rather, it is the criminal justice system from start to finish. And we've identified all the different ways where there are disparities of treatment between Black people and white people, and we've identified solutions to address those disparities. And we got a lot of work to do. I feel very positive about what we've accomplished, but we recognize we have so much further to go.